Mm, okay, you can start.
Assalamualaikum, a very good morning to Madam. So now me and Adam Shukran, we will be presenting for our assignment 2. Okay, so now as for the mobile application, the first app is Blossom. So Blossom is actually like plant identification application. This is also similar to the plant identifier apps, which is the one who we already redesigned. Okay, so bawah sikit. Okay, so from the interface of Blossom, the critic is on text. So the text is must for application. The text must always be readable and also well organized because it's the main important of the information context. So, for example, we can give the text style like plenty of style, also colors. The colors also need to be contrast for text. Use appropriate kerning and spacing, and also clear space for each tab for like to split the text into block. Okay, for move to the next one. The next one is MyFitnessPal. So MyFitnessPal is a smartphone app, and also MyFitnessPal has its own website that keep our diet and also our exercise. This is actually like fitness app. So the critic for the MyFitnessPal apps, can go bawah sikit. Okay, the critic is also on the design text contrast when it's because if we see on the atas sikit Adam, MyFitnessPal ni dia macam it's very bland, dia tak ada colour sangat. If we can see like find a plan, and also bawah tu dia punya text tu tak macam like tak nampak, it's not contrast at all. Macam text dia tu very bland. Also it doesn't have a lot of colours. Biru and also white, black and white, black and white only. Bawah sikit. Okay. So the main critic for this one is contrast and also text. Next one is Apple Help. The Apple Help is basically in iPhone. So the Apple Help is to help users organize our health information and also make it easy to access the center of our place, like our menstrual flow for women, also health, sleep time, our step, walking. Okay, for this critic untuk this Apple Help, this is in terms of the color. It's also the background and the color block all white, everything is white. They just have like a few color, very simple color. So the tendency for UI designer to resort to the pattern trend has not only created a bland environment, but it has also diminished the value of the designer as process are becoming more boring and predictable. So this is some technique untuk adding a little flair to this app, which is Apple Help. Use enough color for backgrounds and text. Also make our product human with illustration. Also add a dark option. Give our design some motion. Okay, the next one is Adidas Running. Okay, Adidas Running is to store information about our workouts, our running, and also our fitness activity, as well as our nutrition. So we can, in these apps, they can count our calorie, our pace, our distance of our running. Okay, the critic of this app is on their pattern and gradients. So Adidas Running uses very simple patterns and gradients. Can be backdrop, also bring style to design that would otherwise the style of this Adidas Run is very plain and not that interesting. And also they have like their visual hierarchy is not that okay, because as we can see atas sikit, it's like same as the before punya MyFitnessPal is very bland sebab dia punya color black, all everything, most of them all white and blue only. Okay, so the next one. Okay, this is the stakeholder for our plan this application. Okay, the first stakeholder is plant and also vegetable enthusiastic. So basically, for them to get more knowledge about specific plants and vegetable, horticulturist, whilst it's similar to landscape gardener who wants more in-depth knowledge of science, also about plants, they are expert in growth of crops, trees, flowers, and also all kind of fauna. As for the second one is for gardeners. Gardeners, they can identify the plants, whether they should be indoor or outdoor. They can also make plant scheduling, like water the plants. They can get notification also from Plantis. And also the next one is housewife, to keep track of their vegetable easier. With their busy schedule, this app will give a reminder notification to the user either through their phone or their tablet. Okay, for the interactivity issue, as we can see in the figure 1.5, this is the interface of picture this plant identifier. Bawah sikit. Okay. So there are a few interactivity issue with plant this identifier. The first one is infinite scroll. Kalau kita tengok dekat infinite scroll ni, if we go through the Plandis punya apps, when we like take for example the spineless yucca plant. Okay, now we have the plant info, and then when we scroll down, it's very infinite scroll down. It's like the user experience may suffer as a result, because infinite scroll is not suitable for mobile application. Infinite scroll from our research is suitable for websites. It's not suitable for mobile application. Additionally, side scrolling is another thing that is advised against because it frequently conceals the important text. Okay, so the second one is navigation design. This is where we redesign and put buttons and also icon to counter the navigation design. Okay, so basically, why the navigation design? Because user must be able to swiftly complete their specific action when they access our apps. Meaning, if the app want to about game, so they know where to. So basically, we need to put buttons and also icon. So, okay, and also we need to avoid adding numerous unnecessary button and also icons. So the third one. Okay, so that there are 4 rules for good modern navigation. The first one is prioritize consistency. The second one is design clear interaction. The third one is avoid deep navigation. And the third one also design for responsive compatibility. The third one is clutter UI. Instead of using more text, we can use icons, because this is mobile application, so small device. Okay, we as a developer must figure out how to cram as much content as possible into a small area, specifically when we designing into the mobile apps. So since all the key components are immediately accessible, so a product with clean UI, how to get the clean UI? So basically, when we redesign, also we need to get how to get the clean UI. Basically, the first we can do is, instead of using the text, we can use icon that can explain by just illustrating it using a straightforward shape. For example, instead of we say home by text, we can just put icon home. Okay. So the fourth one is inconsistent design. Based on the figure 1.5 interface of picture this, we can see the design are a bit inconsistent. The user interface design sepatutnya should be uniformity of its elements. So they will have the same appearance and also the same approach. So untuk createkan the stability tu, they need to use color tu like the same color and also same elements, not like very different one. Okay. Okay, so this is the interface that we redesign for picture this mobile application by using Figma. Okay, the improvement that we make, the first one is the night mode slider. So why the night mode? Because night mode is actually to improve accessibility. And another one is web design is making sure that the product works for everyone. Because why? Not everyone suka guna mode yang cerah. So some of people they want to use the night mode. Some of people they prefer dark display because they want to reduce the eye strain, especially in the dark. Okay, and also dark mode is theme design because it doesn't fatigue the eye so much. Keeping it dim means it's more comfortable to use in the dark environment and also night. Okay, the second one, sikit. The second reason for dark mode is also to improve battery life. Okay, the second one is clear button for options. So the users, why we use clear buttons, so that our user knows the boundaries where they can click and also where they cannot click. Buttons are crucial elements of almost any of user interface. They can allow users to take actions. Pages, dialog, input form, toolbar are those components that require buttons. So what we did from the original plan list, they just have the text. What we did is we redesigned the text to button and also icon with a border. Border is also another thing to reinforce the button. So it can be eye-catching target for user and also border. Okay, what we use round shape button. Round shape directs the user to focus towards the center of the button where the text label is located, as well as we use icon. As a result, we have a better chance for a user to read the label. And the third one is, like I said, we're using icon instead of text. As a screen and also device gets smaller and responsive design gains prominence. Why? Because this is mobile apps. So mobile apps, our screens is getting smaller. So instead of using text, we use the icons because icons are fast to recognize at a glance. Okay, icons is basically a visual representation of an object, an action, or the idea. So there are few icons that we use, mostly universal recognition from user, like home button, like home button, garden. We use the pokok, and also the profile. We use the human one, the setting, the water, and also the warning sign. Okay, so move to yang tadi. Okay, so that's it for the button. With the help of the icon button, the design seems more appealing because they enhance user experience visually. Okay, so the fourth one is warning icon at the top. Previous design, they put warning icon very bottom of their interface. We need to infinite scroll to get the warning thing. So it's basically in terms of visual hierarchy. Visual hierarchy is the principle of arranging elements to show which one is the important one. So the warning sign is very important because it can be dangerous for user in ways. Okay, therefore it's critical to design a website, app, or similar product page or screen to reduce user doubt. If it want to be successful, we need to use the effective of visual hierarchy. Okay, so last one is last one is about visual hierarchy contrast. So it's enable a designer to communicate consumer which point of interaction are essential and also which are optional while presenting the layout. Also, contrast effectively draw the user attention to specific areas, facilitating easy navigation and also improve the usability of the screen. Another contrast that we use is, for example, if we are on the home and then it's going to be, for example, here, home is contrast from others because now we are at home. And also at the info, at the border part, we highlight the border into green color because now we are on the info pages. So that's all from the mobile application.
Okay. So, Assalamualaikum and a very good day, madam. My name is Adam Shukran Muhammad Zahari. So I'll be continuing on with the next portion of this assignment 2. So firstly, regarding similar applications, especially for online education, one similar application, a very well-known one, is Khan Academy, which is a website where you can learn about different things, particularly being mathematics, physics, etc., etc. So this is an example of an interface that we took a snippet of from Khan Academy. We can see that there's a lot of different things that we would like to highlight, particularly with the use of cartoons or images or illustrations. So when you have all of these things, it actually makes the website a lot more interesting. It makes it a lot more visually appealing, especially for the targeted audience, which are like people who wants to study, people who want to learn. So a lot of other education websites, they might be a lot more monotone, a lot more boring because they're just text. They're just text and then text upon text upon text. So when you have like these different illustrations, it helps to break apart and make it more interesting. So next is regarding simple and consistent user interfaces. So we can see that a lot of the points that are being here, they follow a logical progression. So you have a title, then you have the body, and then you have all the different content. So it is very learnable. It is easy to predict and how it will function and how it will work. Next is regarding choice of colors. So we can, and on top of that is also regarding the placements of elements. So this helps the user to be able to read the website much better. So we can see that when you have the title, you put it at the top. And then when you have all the different elements of the particular topic, you put it on the left. Because as a person who is reading in English, we tend to look from left to right. So we can see that the left part it's important information, but it's not too condensed. It's not too much information. So then from the left, then you look to the right, which is the content of the page. So next is regarding choice of colors for the buttons. We can see that the first button that you should press in this particular instance is going to be the start button because it's the only one that is in the blue color. So it helps to draw attention. So colors is also a very important thing. Next is also a lot simpler. You don't have a lot of unnecessary information. Later on, when we talk about the interactivity issues, we can see that the previous website does put too much information. So next reference that we would like to use is iPractice Math, which is a math website that you can use to learn different math concepts. So one thing that we would like to highlight is regarding on how it puts emphasis on the different elements in a particular page. We can see that in this instance, it uses shadows, it makes the border a lot more pronounced. So this helps to draw the attention of the user on what is being selected at that moment, what is being hovered at that moment. So we believe that this is a very important element to add in modern UI, UX designs. As well as in terms of the content of the page, we can see that each content has like 1 or 2 sentences for you to understand what that particular topic is. A lot of times when you want to go to a different page, you don't actually know what you're getting. So having this small little brief explanation on what that particular topic consists of is a good way of UI UX design to help the user predict on where they are going. So it gives a lot more control to the user on where they can decide where to go. This is similar to, or this is in accordance of the 4 golden rules of great UI designs. Okay. And also a lot of the elements in IPM or iPractice Math is a lot more dynamic in terms of it reacts to the user. So we believe that that is a very important element to preserve. And one other thing that IPM does is they use breadcrumbs. So this helps to tell the user where they are currently at right now and what pages they have selected to get where they are. Next is regarding Skillshare. So Skillshare, one thing that we would like to point out is the practice of chunking. So chunking is a process where you take objects of similar data or elements of things that are similar, and you put it into a single box. In this particular case, Skillshare uses different cards. So you can see that each card is also very consistent. It has a photo, it has the title, it has a description, and it has the name of the instructor. So we can see that there is consistency in chunking. So this helps to improve overall readability. And a study has also been done that it does actually improve people's or users' ability to focus, read, and remember content. So we believe that that is very important. Next is one other article that we found also stated that chunking is a great way to help avoid the users from getting overwhelmed. Because when you have too much data and they're not like logically grouped together, it can get pretty overwhelming for the user. Next is regarding Udemy. So Udemy, one thing that we would like to highlight is its use of icons to help give ideas to the user on what it is able to do. In this instance, it's regarding the navigation bar. We can see that there are arrows. So these arrows, it lets the user know that there is more information if you either click it or you hover over it. So we believe that metaphors and icons are very, very strong tools that UI UX designers should use. So next is regarding the stakeholders of the online education platform that we are studying or that we are analyzing, which is the physics classroom. I'll show that later. So these are the stakeholders. Firstly, we have secondary school students because physics is normally a subject that is being taught at the secondary level. However, other students of other levels are also able to use this website to learn ahead of time. But we believe that the main target audience is going to be secondary school students. We also have teachers because the teachers can use the different items or elements inside the website to educate the students. And next is regarding parents and also school staff. They are able to use this website to be able to restructure the syllabus, restructure the schooling system to better improve the experience for the students who are studying there. So this is the website that we are analyzing. So these are the interactivity issues that we have identified. So the website that we are studying or that we are analyzing is actually called the Physics Classroom. So here's a link. Madam, can you go look it up if you want to. We can see that it does actually have a pretty decent user interface, but we believe that it doesn't follow a lot of modern UI UX design principles. I'll discuss about that soon. First thing that we would like to point out is regarding small buttons or small hyperlinks. So we can see that in this particular topic, Newton's laws of motions, we have like different subtopics like force, free body diagrams, and we see that these are hyperlinks. So we can see that it's actually quite hard to click on them because they're very small. They're just text, they're hyperlinks, so it's quite difficult. One thing that we would like to bring up is regarding Fitts law. So Fitts law is a principle that dictates the longer the distance between clicks, the bigger the element results. And if the bigger the element is, it results in a shorter time needed to press it. So this is a simple equation that helps to explain the Fitts law. So we can see that as the distance between the cursor and the element, let's say the force. So let's say you start from at the top, your mouse is at the top and you want to click force. That is the distance between your cursor and the thing that you want to click. So that's this part of the equation. Next is regarding size of the element. So the particular thing that you want to click and then the time taken. So we can see that the bigger the distance, the more time it will take. But if we make the size of the element smaller, if we make the size of the element bigger, it will make the time taken lower because it is an inverse relationship. So that's one of the principles that we would like to use to help govern on how we want to design our website later on. This talks about it. Madam can have a read on that. It's quite interesting. Next, regarding comfort for the user, especially using the website. In this particular instance, TPC or the Physics Classroom actually puts a lot of information for the user to read. We can see that a lot of the subtopics, they just put it at the left here. There's no way for you to minimize it. So we believe that that adds a lot of visual clutter that can make it a lot more chaotic to navigate the website. And another thing that we like to also point out is that the paragraphs or the text for the content is actually quite long. There's this one article that we read up. It gave a recommended size of 700 pixels for any given paragraph. And based on this study, another study also said that if you have a page that is more wide, it actually creates a lot more visual strain and it can greatly affect readability, making it a lot more impact. And just for this particular website, TPC, the Physics Classroom, we can see that the content is 1,200 pixels. Okay, now we have redesigned the website. So I'll just, at a glance, I'll just be explaining all the different things. First thing I would like to point out is the navigation bar. We can see that now everything is using drop downs, because if you want to show all the data to the users, it's not really necessary, and it actually affects negatively the experience of the user when they want to use the website. So the next thing that we did is we use chunking. So we use cards. So we can see that there's 1, 2, 3 cards here. Each of them corresponding to one of the laws of motion for Newton's laws. And we can see that the text boxes are a lot smaller. If I'm not mistaken, I designed it to be around 800 pixels, which is a lot nearer to the 700 recommended compared to the 1200 previously. We also added cartoons to help make it more interesting. So how we design the placement of this cartoon is we don't just put it meaninglessly. So what we did is when the user hovers over this particular card, the cartoon character will appear. So this helps to draw attention to the user on what exactly they are hovering or what exactly they are clicking right now. So that's one way on how illustrations and animations can help improve the overall feel of a website. Next is we made the breadcrumbs a lot bigger because we believe that breadcrumbs should be easily accessible. Next is regarding choice of buttons. We can see that when the user hovers over this particular card, it will be enlarged, like zoomed in a little bit, it will be transformed. And also the button will change color from being no fill to being fill. So it helps to draw the attention to the user on what they should press to go next. And similarly regarding to Fitts law, so rather than just having like a small hyperlink to click, you now have a whole card. So it makes it a lot better, it makes it a lot smoother. I think that is all. And also another thing is it's very predictable, and which helps the user be able to learn the website, because we can see that all the different laws of motion, each of them are very consistent. You have the particular law, what it is in like brief summary at the top, and then you have like a small excerpt or like a summary or like a small story that relates to the particular law. And then it also has an image that describes the law or is in relation to the law. Then expected duration to learn the topic, and topics or categories that are related to that particular item or subtopic. Okay, so everything's very consistent. So when the user uses the website, they can predict, okay, how will this look like? How will that look like? So I think that's a very good principle or to follow when designing a website. We also use very simple colors, simple and also contrasting. We use yellow and white, as well as some green to help draw attention. Fitts law, larger breadcrumbs, the text. And also similar to, was it Udemy, if I'm not mistaken, where they use buttons with arrows, so it helps to hint to the user so they know that there's more data there. We also use chunking, and also use animations in our redesign. So just a brief go through of my reflection. For this assignment, I learned about the 4 golden rules of interface design. I think that was very interesting. So I think I'm now a lot more aware on how to properly design a website, especially in terms of UI UX. So I think that's very interesting on what I learned. Secondly is I learned about Fitts law, which is something I didn't even know existed. So I think it's very interesting on how people establish relationship between distance, size, and also time taken, etc., etc. And also because of this assignment, I'm now a lot more critical and analytical whenever I go to any website. So I try to, pick apart the different things inside the website and, understand it better. Next, I'll pass it off to my colleague to talk about her reflection.
Okay. Okay, so from this assignment, I know that it's very important to have a good design for website. Before this, I think a website is a website. A mobile application is just an application. But as of now, I know that it's very important to have a good design so that we as a user can attract more to our website. Need to be more interesting to attract our user to use our website. And also I realized that it all starts with designing a great UI UX for our target audience. So besides, I also learned how to use Figma, although it's very It can lag my laptop, but it's very nice. And Figma is actually a collaborative web application for interface design. And also, it's actually my first time designing a website or also mobile application. Like the interface, this is the first time. It's very nice. Okay. So we designed one of the interface for mobile application and also one interface for online website. So Figma is a really user-friendly website for interface designing. This assignment also gave me a broad desire to learn about more about human-computer interaction, especially in designing. And in a nutshell, the assignment was really helpful for me in understanding more about UI and also UX better. So that's all from us.
Thank you very much, madam.